You know, it's in human nature to choose the path with the least resistance, man. You know what I'm saying? It's in human nature to do so. Who wants to go down the hard route, right? You know what I'm saying? Who wants to struggle with the Chaz and Tyrones of the world? Now, who wants to struggle? You know, and that brings me to my next question. Why do men date below themselves? You know, a woman that's not on his looks level. I tell you why. Because you don't have to compete as hard. The pussy is right there for you to take. Easy to get it. I mean, if you had the choice, let's say there's a fence, right? Let's say there's a fence, and there's $100 bill on one side, but there's about, maybe like $200 on the other side. It's either and the fence is, by the way, the fence is about like 34 feet in the air, okay? Barely could get over it, man. You're gonna need some rope, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna need an anchor, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to climb hella hard for that $200. But there's $100 right there on your side where you can just easily grab it and then walk away. Well, they do it because it's easy, right? Pick up it's convenient, Pick up the $100 bill, put it in your pocket, and then walk away. You don't have to climb for that $200, 34 feet in the air. Work hella hard, you don't have to do all that. So, well, I got this $100 bill. That $200, man, it's not worth climbing that big ass. I might fall and break my neck. I ain't gonna climb that big ass fence, man. Shit, you gotta be smoking. So you understand why a lot of men date these ugly women or women who are below themselves. Like some of the passport bros, when they go overseas, they can't get them women that are 8, 9s, and 10s out there, bro. They get turned down. And if they do deal with them passport bros got a lot of money in their pocket. You know what I'm saying? But that's why you see a lot of passport bros with average and below average women. You know what I'm saying? Out there in those other countries. Feel what I'm saying? It's easy. Everybody likes easy, right? Not all of us. Some of us, we like a challenge. You feel what I'm saying? But some dudes, they say, fuck it. She got a nice big rump on her. She can suck a mean dick. Who cares about her face, right? Who cares about her face? She got a nice hips. She got some titties on her. You know what I'm saying? Who cares about her height? So what she's 4'11", So what she's 5 foot. It's easier to get it. All the prettier a woman is, the more on demand she is, and the more complicated it is to get her. You feel what I'm saying? Like sub 5, stalker, that female was easy to get. It was like candy. You know, taking candy from a baby, man. She was low hanging fruit, very easy to get. Didn't have to put no effort into it. Didn't have to put no work into it. See what I'm saying? I didn't have to work hard. Oh, my legs are still sore from them squats day before yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So it was easy. Easy work. That's what they said, right? As they say, easy work. Because of a woman, she's like below average looking. The odds are not stacked against you like they are for a female that's a 7, 8, 9, or a 10. You know, the more desirable she is, the more you're gonna struggle to get her. So some dudes say, fuck it, I'll date below my looks level. I'll date a 5-footer, even though I'm 5'9", 5'10". Shit, I'll date her. I'll go in on it. But for the women who are very pretty, you're gonna have some heavy competition on your hands, man. What's up with it, Sean Breezy? I'm back again. Women who are 8, 9s, and 10s, no wonder you ain't never had an 8, 9, or a 10. They highly desirable. By Chad, Tyrone, Richmond, you got an army of niggas who's competing for that shit. You know, men with money, they all competing to get that woman at the top, man. You feel what I'm saying? They competing. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So the prettier she is, bro, you know, the more desirable she gonna be. It's gonna be a lot of competition to get to her. You know, a female that's a 405. You know, that's not really that. You don't have to deal with so many goddamn Chaz and Tyrones and Richmond trying to get that. You know, a 5 is just an average woman. You know, which is good. I still get aroused by 5 women who are 5s, and I definitely get aroused if she's a 6. You feel what I'm saying? 5s and 6s ain't nothing wrong with their looks. You know? Yeah, exactly. Especially if she got a big ass. If she's a 5 and she got a big ass, you know, that big ass makes up for that average face. That big ass, it makes up for that average face. You know, I done had women who were average looking, who had big asses in my time. You know, average looking but big ass. That's what I like. I'll never be in a relationship with a woman that's below my looks level ever again. Or I'll never be in a relationship with a woman that has a flat booty. I'm just not gonna do that no more. I had that happen to me once before, man. Got into a relationship with a woman who had a flat ass, and I wasn't completely satisfied. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say if I'm gonna get in a relationship, if I'm broke, she better be a 5, like you said, Sean Breezy. Be a 5 and have a big ass. But it's easier, you know, for younger, for women who are not that good looking, you know, especially if she ain't got no curves. There's not a whole lot of competition for a woman that's flat on both sides. You feel what I'm saying? The bar is lower. to do limbo under. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, it's higher, my bad. The limbo bar is higher. It's easy to go up under that motherfucker. You know, when you dancing and shit, you go up under the bar, right? Limbo, playing limbo, right? For women who are fives, the limbo bar is higher. Feel what I'm saying? You just go easy, man. Easy, go over that motherfucker. Women who are past their prime, the limbo bar is higher. You know what I'm saying? But we talking about a young prime female that's around a 7. Boy, you got heavy competition for that. Good luck getting that 7. Like little 7, competition is fierce for her, bro. Competition. You gotta deal with all kinds of motherfuckers who want her, bro. She's a 7 in looks. She's right there, borderline perfect. She's almost with the 8, 9s, and 10s. Except a few errors in her face is, you know, what keeps her from being an 8, 9, or a 10. And her height. It keeps her from being an 8, 9, or a 10. 8, 9s, and 10s are tall, man, and beautiful. Competition is fierce for those type of women. That's why you ain't never had a woman that was an 8, 9, or a 10 before. You feel what I'm saying? Hey man, I'm 45, and I don't even know what it's like to like sleep with a female that's an 8, 9, or a 10. I ain't never had no experience, never kissed one, never caressed one. You feel what I'm saying? You know, I never had a woman like that. All the women I've been dealing with my whole entire life are just average looking women. You know, and some below average looking women I have been with. But I don't get into relationships with them, bro. You know, it's impossible to have feelings for a female that's below you in looks. That's why I say, man, a lot of these like top tier women, when they get with some of these sub 5 millionaires, the relationship ain't real, man. She ain't got no real feelings for him, man. In order to have feelings for somebody, you gotta be attracted to them. Feel what I'm saying? You know, you gotta be attracted to them. And they'll lie, be like, oh, it was real love. It was real love. Like, what's her name? Samantha Lee, that dated Tyrese. At one point, that was his wife. And she claimed that she really loved Tyrese. I sat back and I chuckled. I was like, no, that's impossible. You people are on 2 different looks levels. Samantha Lee is around an 8. She's up there with the 8, 9s, and 10s. Okay, she's around an 8. Tyrese is around a 4. How is it possible for you to love this man? How is it possible? Because I find myself, you know, not falling in love with a female that's below me. I feel like it's impossible. To fall in love with somebody that looked like sub 5 stalker, that's impossible for me to do. I don't have any feelings for her because she's not pretty. You know, so if she was, she wouldn't be on the streets. She wouldn't be homeless. Like the other pretty female, it was one pretty female over here that was homeless. She would come outside her tent to sunbathe, and all the homeless people, all the homeless dudes coming around, just trying to take a peek, you know, trying to get an eyeful and shit, you know, peeping through fences and stuff, you know, trying to get a peep while she's sunbathing, right? Then, you know, some dude pulls up, takes her off the street, bro. And she was attractive, man. She was around around 6 or something like that, man. Dudes were checking for her out here, man, hardcore, man. Dudes were checking for her hardcore, even though she was on drugs, and it didn't even look like she was on drugs. I don't know what she was smoking, but it didn't look like she was on drugs. She was just like crazy. That was it, man. Deranged. okay? And some dude came along and took her off the streets, man. Took her off the streets. Easy. I wish I had that option. Well, a female just roll up on me and like, you want to come stay with me? I mean, I probably could get a sugar mama or something like that, but I choose not to. You know, you got a troll out here talking about Kelcat can't get no woman on. He can't get no pussy or something like that. You got to understand how my mind works. If you've been following me for long enough, you'll see that I'm picky. Even though I got very little options, I got discipline. I'm not going to sit down and just get into a relationship with just any old female. See what I'm saying? I'm not going to... Just looking around me, guys, sorry. You know, I'm not going to just get into a relationship with just any old woman. Like, Sub 5 Stalker wanted me to be in a relationship with her, man, and I was like, oh no. You know what I'm saying? Yep, even if you get her, man, it'd be hard to keep her. Like me, when I was dating before the pandemic, I found it hard to keep females around. I was like, fuck, man, something going on. I can't keep them. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I kept running into females that had orbiters. It was frustrating me, bro. Women who had orbiters, women who were, you know, already seeing somebody already. I'm like, goddamn, like, can I find a woman that's single? I told you the sister that I was dating before the pandemic, you know, she had a man that she was creeping on with me. And I remember we met up at the hotel, and she was attractive female. She was very short, dark-skinned sister. And you know, we met up at the hotel and stuff. But first we went and had a drink and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, we kissed. You know, we met up at the hotel. And you know, we didn't have no sex or nothing, but we was kissing and rubbing and touching and stuff, you know. And she was frustrating me. She was like, no sex, and I was just like, oh shit. I don't know why she didn't want to have sex, but I guess her man she had somebody she was living with, bro. That's frustrating shit out of me. And then I come over to San Jose. Same thing happening over and over again. Some dude is stalking a female, okay? The female I met at the bar or club I was in San Jose, downtown, some dude was stalking her, you know? And I'm like, goddamn, like, man, that's what happens when you got way more goddamn men than women, bro, over here in these streets. Some dudes are gonna get left out in the cold. So it's easy to go below you, right? And get a woman that's a 3. You know, like this female at Starbucks, she married. And I can tell she's interested in me because she always calls me by my name. Every time she passes by, she says hi. Even when she's coming out of the restroom, you know, she's saying hi. That was her. You guys, on my last video, remember I had just turned it on, and she came by and said hi. She was like, hi, Kel. Right? Hi, Kel. I'm pretty sure you guys heard it, right? Then But she has a husband, but she had the biggest, fat, juicy, her body, when you look down below the waist, holy smokes. She got a nice round apple ass, bro. We're talking about the nicest, roundest apple ass. But her face is below average. No wonder she a lot of the females that are below average, they can't afford to be like, arrogant and shit like that. I noticed that women who are less attractive, it's easier to talk to them. Okay, easier to talk to them, and you can hold the conversation longer and stuff. Versus if I tried to have a conversation with little seven, it'll be a brief conversation. We talking about very brief, like maybe like 4 or 5 words. That kind of brief. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a female at King Egg Roll, man, that I go to. A spot that I go to, man. And there's a female that's below average looking there, man. She's very approachable, easy to talk to. Not very pretty, but you can still have a conversation with her and shit without, her looking sideways at you or just cutting you off or shutting the conversation down. That's what pretty women do that's above your looks level. They're gonna shut your conversation down, man. She's above your looks level. You might get like 10 words out of her, man. They don't need to talk to you. You know what I feel? You in the streets. Or, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like you working together. Feel what I'm saying? Even then, it's going to be very brief. If it ain't nothing about the job, she ain't going to talk to you about it. You know what I'm saying? Little life gonna humble little seven. Yeah, as she get older, she'll feel it. But right now, she at the prime of her life. She about 20 years old. Young, man. Just got on this earth. Feel what I'm saying? Just got on this earth, bro. And right now, women like that, they don't need to be humble. They got so many dudes after them, man. Look, man, your ego would be huge if you had a bunch of women chasing you, bro. When it comes to like women, your ego gonna be huge, bro. Your ego, your head gonna be swollen big, like a balloon, bro. You gonna have a big ass, ego. I'm the shit. I get pussy all the time. If you a Tyrone, or a Chad or whatever, man, you'll be going through them and thinking you the shit, and thinking you all that, thinking you're God's gift or the Creator's gift to women and shit. You're gonna be walking around acting like that, bro. You feel what I'm saying? It's the same thing with them. Got a bunch of dudes chasing them all over the place, man. And they know they're attractive. Women who are 7, 8, 9s, and 10s, they know they're attractive. And they know what they can get. They can get Chad's attention. If she can get Chad's attention and you know what I'm saying, keep him, you're gonna have a hard time getting that, man. It's getting tougher for celebrities too, man. Celebrities, they gotta worry about other celebrities taking their woman. The pecking order is always the pecking order, man. Just because you rich, it don't mean that your woman gonna stick around, man. You see what's happening to Floyd Money Mayweather, man. He been through it with Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson left him for a guy who had lesser money. For Nelly. You know what I'm saying? So when you at the top of the food chain, you got to worry about other men that are at the top of the food chain too. You got to worry about Chads, Tyrones. You know, it doesn't quit. Like if you become a millionaire, right? Let's say I become a millionaire like next week or something. That's not gonna be the end all be all. I still got to worry about Chads, Tyrones, other rich men with money too. That's what I'm thinking in my head. I might just settle down with just a 7, man, and be cool, man. You know what I'm saying? She can't be too goddamn beautiful, man, because you know you got too much competition on your hands. You know what I'm saying? You know, as long as she's younger than me and she makes my thing rise, I'm good. She don't have to be the most beautiful chick in the world, man. You know what I'm saying? But she gotta be attractive enough for me to get up. She can't be like sub 5 stalker. You feel what I'm saying? So dating below yourself, man, I advise you guys not to do it. Don't do it. You're gonna have a hard time getting rid of that woman, bro. She ain't gonna wanna let you go. She gonna stalk you. She gonna harass you. Cause she gonna act a fool because she has never had a guy that's above her looks level before, right? Or if she did, she lost him very easily because, you know, dude is more desirable than she is. You know, dude's SMV is higher than hers. You feel what I'm saying? He's worth more. So she gonna act a fool. She gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna let you go. I'm gonna tie you up. I'm gonna fool spin you, spin you. I'm gonna spoon feed you and shit. No, I ain't gonna let you go. I'm gonna shoot you in the head while you laying in your bed. She was an older woman, bro. You could tell. She probably was dating a Tyrone. You know, that lady who shot her husband or her boyfriend in the head while he was sleeping. I'm amazed that he survived that shit, man. You know, probably some Tyrone, some good-looking younger dude. Probably. I'm just guessing. Maybe he might be around her age, but even if he's around her age, he could still be better looking than she. Women, they get good-looking dudes, man. They ain't gonna want to let it go, bro. It was too hard to get them. You know, a good-looking man just don't fall into your lap like that. That's why they act a fool. That's why sub 5 stalker was acting a fool toward me. I was above her looks level. She didn't want to let me go, so she kept on pouring coffee on my car every single day for 4 months, bro. That's got to be some type of insanity going on right there, bro. She was insane. Just coming around, just pouring coffee, pouring coffee, pouring coffee, pouring coffee. 4 months, bro. We talking about October, Halloween went by, and she was still doing. That's when she first started, Halloween. And then November, Thanksgiving came around, and she still was doing this shit, bro. And then December came around, and she was still doing it. We had Christmas, New Year's Eve came around and everything, and she still was throwing coffee on the car every single day, bro. You know, and then for some reason in February she disappeared. You know, and then some guy told me that, hey, you know, Nancy, she's in the hospital. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, she had a heart attack or something. She's in a coma. I was like, oh shit. You know, and she been gone for months. And it's been peace and quiet ever since. But my car got towed, so she's not gonna be able to do nothing now. I can't wait until she gets out and she goes back over to that garage and try to check for my car. It's gonna be gone. She's gonna be mad. Like, yeah, bitch, I got you in the end, bitch. Yeah, you can't do nothing. You can't harass me no more. Now stay the fuck away from me. Fucking bitch. She was a crazy bitch, bro. That's what happens when you get women who are below your looks level. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Women who are below you, bro, don't care how horny you get, bro. Don't do it. Because then when the relationship ends, they're not going to want to let you go. A woman that's on your looks level, she'll let you go easier. You know what I'm saying? Because she can find another man easy. You know what I'm saying? Especially if she's above your looks level and you're a rich guy or something like that. She ain't going to be stalking you and shit like that, bro. You know, women only stalk men that's hard to replace. Feel what I'm saying? My lips are chapped. If you are like a guy that's hard to replace to her, she's gonna stalk you. You know, and you're thinking like, damn, this bitch been stalking me for like a while. How come she's not moving on? Because she hasn't found nobody to take your place, bro. All the dudes that she was dealing with was below average looking or some shit like that. And you was the only dumbass that tried to give her a chance that was above her in looks. You was the only dumbass that tried to stick your penis inside a woman that was below your looks level. I'll never do that again. Never. I would never do that again, bro. Never. Woman that's below me, oh no, thank you, baby. Because once we let go, you ain't gonna want to let go. Feel what I'm saying? Stay in your lane. Stay with average women. If you broke, if you ain't got no money, you're dating, throw the ones who are sub-5 back. Throw them back. Below average looking women, you know, throw them back. It's not worth the headache, man. Remember I told you about that lady who tied her boyfriend to the bed and and spoon fed him, talking about, I can't let him go because he's too handsome. He's too handsome. That was her excuse. I was like, what? He was too handsome. And one lady was saying, I got a boyfriend, he's better looking than me. That's on the leftover women channels I be watching and shit. You know what I'm saying? I got a boyfriend, he's better looking than me, and he knows he don't have to do much. You know? It's the like I said, man. And then the thing is, you don't have to deal with a whole lot of headache and stuff. Because women who are pretty, they tend to have like hotter tempers and shit. But that's not always the case. You know, the sub-5 stalker, she was acting like she was a 10. You know? And I was a Tyrone or a Chad or something. And she stalked me for 4 months. I remember sub-5 stalker, man, that broad was scaring the shit out of me. Like, I was laying down in my car, you know, a woman will try to sabotage your life if you try to leave. Yeah. That's what happened to what's his name, bro? You know, that's what happened to Shannon Sharpe. That woman, you could tell, bro, she was below average looking, bro. Below average. And that's the reason why she did what she did, bro. You know, since she couldn't have him, she could at least have his money. You know. And like I said, well, yeah, like what I was saying about sub-5 stalker. Like, the broad was creeping around my car, stalking my car. You know, one day I was laying down, and I'm laying down, and like, you know how like there's an opening at the top of the wall, right, where I kick it at. Now on the other side is the ramp going up, higher on the roof of the parking garage, right? And through that, the little gap, uh, you can see a reflection of the light, right? Hit the wall on the side. I'm laying down like this, and you can look above, and you can see reflection, the reflection of the light. Well, Sub 5 Stalker would come around, and she would check my car every now and then, and I'll be hiding out in the car, and you can see her shadow, bro. That shit was scary as hell, bro. Like, on the wall, you can see the reflection of the light. Now she comes across like this, and when something gets in front of the light bulb or the light, it shows a shadow of a reflection of that person or that thing or whatever is in front of it. It shows a reflection of or a shadow on the wall of her. I saw that shadow at least 10 times, bro. I'm lying down, chilling, on my phone or whatever, and I look up and I see her shadow, the reflection on the wall. I was like, what? So I didn't want to let her know I was there, man. I didn't say nothing. I just hid there, man. I didn't move. I just stayed right there. And before you know it, she left and went back up the stairs. And I'm like, you fucking little stalking bitch. And that was my big mistake, man, was getting with a female that was below me. Now, I have no intention on getting with women who are below my looks level. The female at Starbucks, she constantly, always approaching me, bro. Now, she's a 4 in looks. Geeky, nerdy type of girl. Very slim and skinny and small and frail. Her genetics are inferior to mine. And she approaches me all the time. She even offered to buy me something from Starbucks and shit a couple of times, and I declined it because I didn't want her to think that something was going on between us, because I had stalkers before, man. Those type of women are not that desirable, so there's not a whole lot of men like chasing them. A woman that's a 4 in looks, she's not that desirable. She might have, another guy that's a 4 chasing her or something, or a guy that's below average looking. But if you're coming through, you a 6 or a 7 in looks, and she's a 4, okay, man, she ain't gonna want to let you go, bro. She gonna sabotage your life. Like Sean Breezy said, bro, these women, they'll fuck you up, man. They'll fuck you up. I dated sub 5 women in my prime as a man, bro. Like, always kept it behind closed doors. Never brought them out to like no dinner or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Never took them to the movies. She wasn't a proud thing for me to be showing off. She was below average looking with a big behind, and she was okay with that, man. Just chilling at the house, having sex. You feel what I'm saying? I had that control over that, man. A woman that's on your looks level, she won't let you get away with that. Especially a woman who's above you. Going back to the house just to have sex without taking her out to a movie or taking her out to like a dinner or some shit like that. They'll ask you like, hey, why, how come you ain't taking me out? We don't never go nowhere. We never, you know what I'm saying? She will ask you all those type of questions. But a woman who's below you, she just happy just to have sex with you. She ain't gonna ask no questions. She gonna get you in the bedroom. There was one below average black woman I used to date back when I was in my 20s. She had a nice big ass, but her face was like, was not pretty at all, man. But yeah, I used to tear that ass up, man. For real. Every time she picked me up from the bar station, she knew Hell, when she used to pull up, my dick used to get hard. Cause I knew I was about to tear that ass up. You feel what I'm saying? You know, when she would pull up at the gas station, the BART station, cause out here we got BART in the Bay Area, train station. Once she pulled up to the BART train station, my dick instantly got hard, man. Especially you get to the house and you lie down. Oh man, man, you excited, man. Something's about to happen to you. You about to get some sex. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, we need to start having a little bit more standards, man. Have a little standards. You feel what I'm saying? We gotta have some standards out here in this piece. Don't be messing with women who are below your looks level because you're desperate. That's why I say get your bread up so you don't have to go digging in the garbage can for a woman that's below you in looks. You know what I'm saying? You get your money up, you can say no to like sub-5 women with a breeze because you're dating women who are 7s and shit. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you, Chad, Tyrone, they picky, man. Believe it or not. They picky. I know my Arabic Chad friend, he was picky like a motherfucker. Some average looking women walked in with no booty. He was like, no, thank you. He was like, no, thank you. I was like, what? Them girls look nice. They look nice to me. Their ass is not big enough, man. The ass. The ass. Not big enough. At the time, I wasn't picky. It was big enough for me. One of them had a medium ass. So I was like, damn, okay, all right, Chad. Yeah, they could afford, Chads and Tyrones they could afford to be picky like a motherfucker, bro. Dudes who are at the top of the food chain when it comes to looks, dudes who are very tall and good looking, they could be picky as a motherfucking goddamn a rabbit or a duck. Because ducks and rabbits, they picky about what they eat and shit. Especially ducks, because I feed ducks on the regular. They picky about what you throw out there, bro. You can throw out there some meat and stuff. Or remember a tortilla, because sometimes I'll be eating my burrito, and I'll be sharing my burritos with the ducks. Sometimes they'll sniff the tortilla that I threw down there, because I'll break off a little piece of tortilla off my burrito and throw it to them, and they'll sniff it and be like, nah, I don't want that. I want that, I want them chips you got, Or you throw down some chips and they know you got that burrito because they smell it and they'll sit there and stare at you. You put the chips down and they'll look at you like, nah, we want what's in that bag right there. And I was like, you little greedy motherfuckers. Eat the chips. You're like, we don't want no chips. We want that burrito. Same thing, bruh. Chaz and Tyrone's, they got the top of, bruh. Chaz and Tyrone's got the world, bro. They control the dating scene, bruh. You know what I'm saying? They run everything. You get women that Chad and Tyrone is picky with. You know what I'm saying? You get women that Chaz and Tyrone's are picky with. With average women who are like 4s and 5s and 6s, Chad and Tyrone, they picky with them. They're like, nah, I don't want them. No, Chad and Tyrone is checking for his face match, bro. They checking for the Stacys and shit and the Keishas. That's who Chad and Tyrone was checking for. Only top tier women. Now they probably might bang a 7 or something like that, but they won't get into a relationship with them. They'll get into a relationship with a woman that's a 9 or a 10. Because they 9s and 10s. Feel what I'm saying? So good-looking people attract other good-looking people, man. You're average looking, you're fairly good looking, you attract a woman that's somewhat good looking too, you know what I'm saying? On the same looks level. That's why when motherfuckers say, man, It's all about looks. It's all about look, man. I'm like, bro, it's been about looks since the beginning of time. You know what I'm saying? It's been about looks since the beginning of time. It has never been not about looks. It's always been about looks. I remember when I was younger, man, I used to always try to tiptoe over to a female that was above my looks level, and she'll look at me like, please, I have had better. I'm checking for Chad and Tyrone. You know what I'm saying? I'm checking for Chad and Tyrone. The only way you can date outside your looks level, man, is you got a lot of money. You got a lot of money, you can get pretty much any level of woman when it comes to looks. You could probably, you can pretty much get any level. On the 7th level, the 8th level, the 9th, you could get whatever when you got a lot of money, man. That's why dudes go out there and they go out and get a lot of money, man, because they're trying to, expand their options, man, when it comes to like beautiful women. Top tier women won't even look at me nowadays. Sevens, nah. Sevens ain't looking for me no more. I used to when I was younger. I used to get like women that were 7s, and even back then I didn't get a whole lot of 7s. Back then when I was in my 20s and shit, I didn't get a whole lot of 7s, bro. Like I got like a bunch of, let me tell you, I got a bunch of 4s, 5s, and 6s. That's as far as I went. But every now and then I would luck up and get a 7, and I didn't. Let me tell you something. I didn't keep those 7s for long. Before you know it, a Chad or a Tyrone will come around, because Chads and Tyrones, they fucking 7s too. So you highly competitive. The more curvy she is, the more thick she is, the prettier her face is. Good luck. You better have a lot of money. Hey, I have already accepted that I won't get a top beautiful woman unless I got a lot of money. Because it would have happened a long time ago. It would have happened in my 20s. You feel what I'm saying? It would have happened a long time ago. I would have got a top tier female girlfriend like in my 20s. Instead, I dated average women with nice bodies too, man. You know what I'm saying? I dated average women with nice bodies, women with big butts, average face, big butt. She's somewhat pretty, you know what I'm saying? She's somewhat pretty, she ain't super pretty, but she's somewhat pretty. She you know what I'm saying? She could make you rise to the occasion. Feel what I'm saying? But dating below you, like I said, don't ever do that. I don't care what they told you out here in these streets. I don't care if it's easy to get and you don't have to open the wrapper to get to it. It's all open for you, like on Friday and shit. When Baby D was chasing them. You don't have to get to the wrapper. It's already open. She picked up the cookie and started eating it. He's like, yeah, it's good, Baby D. Nah, I don't care what nobody say, bro. I don't care how easy it is. It's easy for a reason, like, because other men are not really checking that hard for her, man. Feel what I'm saying? Anyway, let me finish off my workout, man. You guys have a good day, man. I gotta work out. I'll be back on later. I'm out.